The grassroots welcoming movement in Westchester County has been building bridges and encouraging belonging since 2016. This work and the connections have contributed to changing the culture and avoiding narratives of othering while bringing us together to build stronger and inclusive communities.
This organization has done a lot to help a lot of people's lives, but the challenges continue before us. So I look at whatever we've done up to this point as really the beginning of what we're capable of doing. The people of Westchester County, not the government of Westchester County, but the people of Westchester County are to the greater extent willing to share their heart, their home, and their resources to help other people. And I think that's an encouraging sign.
The United States, as you know, has a long history of opening its doors to people seeking a safe refuge. In fact, in our history, the United States has permanently resettled more refugees than all other countries combined. At our best, this country gives displaced people the opportunity to live and to thrive. And we must ensure that this tradition continues. We are lucky to have the support of organizations like Hearts and Homes for Refugees, a truly special community-based resettlement program. There is simply no better way to integrate into a community than to be welcomed by its members. Community-based resettlement programs provide an opportunity for cross-cultural exposure and foster the ability to break down barriers and combat stereotypes. We need that now more than ever. People thrive when they feel supported, and it's my goal to do what I can to make sure that refugees feel affirmed here in the Lower Hudson Valley.
Anyone who is coming here who is a refugee, who needs a home, who needs health care, who needs a job, who needs dignity, and who needs just safety and security, it has always been our role as a nation to provide that safety and security, and we will fight to continue to do so. Every policy we put forth, and I'm saying we because I'm going to speak for my brother Mondaire, every policy we put forth, it's about love. It's about love for humanity, and it's about human rights. If we as a nation become a human rights leader once and for all, we can change what's happening in our world with all of the wars and famine and issues related to climate change. But most importantly, we can be accepting of refugees who are seeking peace and safety and security in our nation.
I mean, being able to bring these stories with us are so powerful. I mean, I think of all the floor speeches in the House that have been particularly compelling, and the conversations and committee hearings that have been particularly in testimony that have been particularly compelling, and its narratives, its narration, it's humanizing this issue. And you have all been doing a particularly effective job at that, and we've just got to keep it up.
We need to act urgently and swiftly to make sure we raise this cap. I think the number, and I think Mondaire is with me, I think the number should be 125,000, and I think we need to get there as quickly as possible.
I have been so impressed with Hearts and Homes, your determination, your passion, how smart you are, creative you are in figuring out ways to work with refugee resettlement agencies and welcome refugees to your community. We will do more of this. In fact, community-based resettlement is in some ways the future of refugee resettlement in this country. We cannot expect Americans to support a refugee resettlement program if they don't know anything about it. And what is the best way to help Americans know something about refugees and refugee resettlement is to give them an opportunity to roll up their sleeves and actually participate in this great American tradition of welcoming refugees.
I am a co-chair of a group that has helped to settle 3 families. We had about 4 weeks notice the first time. And what we did was to get a group of congregations together to raise the funds and find the volunteers necessary. One of the most inspiring things about this work is its collaborative nature. In our case, 3 synagogues, 2 churches, and a humanist group. They represent well over 1,500 Westchester residents. It was the community that found volunteers to find and furnish the apartment. It was the community that enlisted over a dozen volunteers to help the mom and children begin learning English. The community came together to provide over 40 volunteers who drove family members to all the appointments. I have so many personal stories. And the other story is that of her husband, who met the school bus on the first day that the children had attended school with tears in his eyes. But he was crying because it was the first time that he knew for sure that his kids would arrive safely home at the end of a school day.
I'm happy to share with you that our office, as of last week, has been officially reactivated as a resettlement site for FY21. Thank you. With all of the circumstances surrounding the low presidential determination this year, I don't want to give false hope that we're going to all of a sudden see an influx of refugees arriving. However, this positions us and ensures that we're back in the game.
The program, for those of you who aren't familiar with it, involves matching a refugee family that has short-term needs with a volunteer team. And that team can be from a church or a synagogue or a civic group, or even a family or a group of friends.
My name is Isatou, and I'm from Gambia. I flew to the US from my first arranged marriage and also core practice of female genital mutilation. I came to US to seek refuge and also hope to have a better life here and have a chance of helping others, particularly women that have experienced harmful traditional practice. I was lucky to be part of Highland Homes for Refugee beneficiary through community sponsorship programs. I was matched with local churches that support me to transition and also integrate into this society. And most importantly, my education and my journey to become a healthcare provider to support other women. The support from this team of volunteers at this community level helped me to maximize my potential and also hope to become a valuable member of this community.
Our mission is to advocate for fair, just, and compassionate laws, policies, and programs to support refugees, asylum seekers, and other immigrant groups.
Because there are some ways right away that people can take action.
Our vision is of a long-term, sustainable, deeply rooted, partner-filled community of welcomers. We have and we will continue to cultivate more informed, welcoming people of goodwill and partners through community outreach and education programs. We will continue to assist our new neighbors as well as the receivers, all of you who are looking to engage with aspiring Americans. And we'll invite newcomers to the table and we'll rely on our many experienced partners to help us. Together, we can bring the full weight of our community grassroots to this movement. And